I'm 43, and my wife, Amanda, is 40. We've been married for 16 years. We have a 14-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. The early years of our marriage were rocky, but we made it through and came out stronger, or at least, that's what I used to believe. We tied the knot young, maybe before we were fully mature, but I thought our love carried us through any storm. Amanda's been a manager at a big advertising firm for the last 3 years, and I've worked as an engineer for 7. Both jobs pay well, and we've built a comfortable life for our family. We're a tight-knit group. We always made time for our kids and created some amazing memories together. So how did we get here? Despite everything I did as a father and a husband, I was blindsided to discover Amanda had been having a long-term affair. Sure, I've made my share of mistakes over the years, but this? I never saw it coming. Looking back, the signs were there. Amanda started becoming more distant, especially over the past 2 years. She constantly compared me to her boss, Greg, said he handled everything better. I'm not a mind reader, I told her. Unlike Greg, I didn't instinctively plan surprise dates or go out of my way to make her feel special. She told me I should just know what to do. I didn't. So I tried. I read books, watched videos, researched how to rekindle things, but none of it seemed good enough for her. What I didn't realize was that I wasn't the one who needed to fix things. The damage was already done. We were friendly with Greg and his family. We all hung out together, barbecues, family outings, dinners. I even confided in Greg about our marriage problems, thinking he was a decent guy. Turns out, he was the last person I should have trusted. Everything changed one night when Amanda was on the couch, laughing and texting someone. I leaned over to see, just casually, and she yanked the phone away like I'd just caught her in a lie. That's when the suspicion started to feel real. The next day, I asked her outright if she was seeing someone else. She acted offended, furious that I'd even ask. Said I was paranoid. I couldn't get into her phone at first, but eventually, I managed to recover some deleted messages. The conversation threads were chopped up, but enough remained to piece things together. She was sleeping with Greg. My heart sank. But instead of confronting her right away, I sat with it. I thought about our kids. About everything we'd built. And as crushed as I was, part of me still wanted to fix it. 3 days later, I bought a book called How to Help Your Spouse Heal from an Affair. I was still hoping we could rebuild what she broke. I picked Saturday to finally talk to her. But Saturday came, and Amanda suddenly had to go into the office for an emergency. She didn't come back until late Sunday night, and dodged all my questions about where she'd been. I was barely holding it together, and she just didn't seem to care. Desperate, I reached out to Greg's wife, Lauren. I told her everything. She was just as shocked and devastated as I was. We agreed to gather evidence separately and compare notes. I kept digging into Amanda's messages. Lauren did the same with Greg's. Her husband was so cocky he hadn't even bothered to delete anything. When we put our findings together, the truth hit like a truck. They'd been sleeping together for 2 years. They'd met up in hotels, exchanged pictures, and God knows what else. Lauren and I avoided going through all the explicit content. We didn't want those images burned into our heads. Revenge crossed our minds, sure. But cheating out of spite wouldn't solve anything. We wanted out. Cleanly. We each started preparing divorce papers, quietly, without letting them know what we were up to. We played the part of unsuspecting spouses while they carried on their little love story in the dark. When they planned a weekend getaway, we knew exactly where they were staying. Lauren and I coordinated everything. I drove out to the hotel with the sheriff and waited in the lobby. Then the moment came. They called Amanda down from the room. She showed up wearing a bathrobe, clearly not expecting any surprises. The sheriff asked her name. When she confirmed it, he handed her the envelope. She looked stunned. Confused. Watching the shock spread across her face felt oddly satisfying. I didn't say a word. I turned and started walking away. She grabbed my arm, panicked. "What is this? What the hell is going on?" I looked her in the eyes and said, I know about the affair. I'm done. She screamed, clutched at me, but the sheriff stepped in. Ma'am, please let go, he said firmly. She started sobbing. But I left. Greg got served that same night at home. Total ambush. They never saw it coming, just like we never saw the betrayal coming. Now, my divorce is set to finalize in a few months. Lauren's might take a bit longer. But here's the thing, neither of them wants it to end. Suddenly, they're fighting to save their marriages. Too little, too late. Word on the street, or rather, through mutual contacts, is that neither Amanda nor Greg ever actually planned to leave their spouses. According to them, it was just a clean affair, whatever that's supposed to mean. Nothing emotional, just a mistake, they say. They claim people have done worse and still ended up with stronger marriages. Now they just want a shot at fixing the mess they made. I asked Amanda what she thought the endgame was, and she just said she was going with the flow. Completely out of character. I called her an idiot to her face. It slipped out. I was just done. People around me, friends, coworkers, even relatives, have criticized me for not giving Amanda another chance. My kids know the basics of what happened. We've kept it age appropriate, but they support me. That said, they do wish we could stay together. And I'll be honest, sometimes my resolve slips. We're still living under the same roof, and Amanda's started therapy. She's reading that book I bought, How to Help Your Spouse Heal from an Affair. She tells me she's remorseful and willing to do whatever it takes. But I keep telling her the only reason she's sorry is because she got caught. That's all I need to know. One day, during an argument, she called me bitter and resentful, that I couldn't let go of the negativity. She apologized later, but that moment stuck. Because deep down, I think that's how she really feels. I still talk to Lauren, Greg's wife. Amanda hates that. She's convinced I'm either having a revenge affair or that Lauren's the reason I won't give Amanda another shot. She's asked me more than once to cut contact with Lauren, the same way she went no contact with Greg. I told her she's lost her mind. Why should I respect her wishes now? Lauren and I haven't done anything wrong. Here's the truth, I think I'm done. I don't respect Amanda anymore. She's still trying though. Keeps wanting to process the affair with me, talk about what led to it. But to me, those just sound like excuses, and I'm not entertaining them. She's begged me to do joint therapy. I've read too many stories where the therapist ends up blaming the betrayed spouse. So I said, hell no. She wants me to read more books on infidelity. I don't see the point. If we're divorcing, why keep pretending we're working on something? She keeps saying this isn't manipulation, that she's just showing me she still loves me. I told her, you love me now? Even my mom's been getting on my case lately. Says people screw up, and Amanda's only now realizing how much she truly loves me. But I keep telling everyone the same thing, I won't be anybody's backup plan. I feel bad for how cold I've been to her. Truth is, I still love her. And yeah, there's hate too. I don't know, maybe I am being too cruel. But then again, maybe I'm just protecting myself. People keep saying I'm rushing the divorce. That I might regret it someday. And I keep asking myself, is that true? I don't know what's real anymore. Update. Thanks for all your support, folks. Right now, Amanda and I are in a kind of neutral zone. Not fighting constantly, not reconciling either. The divorce is still moving forward. I just can't get past the fact that the affair lasted 2 years. If it had been a one-night thing, maybe I could have worked through it. But 2 years? That's not a mistake. That's a whole relationship behind my back. I've gone to a few therapy sessions with her, not because I want to get back together, but because I still care. I'm not a monster. I love her. One session, in particular, really helped me understand some of the emotional wreckage she was dealing with. She's messed up, no doubt. But she's also been putting in a ton of effort. Then came session 2, and it was a disaster. She lost it over me still being in contact with Lauren. She was terrified I'd start a revenge affair. We got into it big time. Probably the worst argument we've had through all of this. She kept begging me to cut Lauren off. Eventually, I promised there'd be no revenge affair. I didn't owe her that, but I gave her my word. Until we're legally separated, she's still my wife. And if nothing else, I want to end things with integrity. I've kept attending therapy, not for us, but to keep tabs on Amanda's progress. The therapist works with us individually and as a couple. I'm not secretly hoping for a reconciliation. I just want to make sure she's making real changes, for herself, not for me. Lauren and I still talk. She's moving forward with her own divorce, even though Greg is fighting it hard. We lean on each other during the tough days. There's no affair there, just two people who were shattered by the same betrayal. She's a strong, grounded woman who doesn't tolerate BS. The kids are doing okay. They know what's happening doesn't mean we love them any less. They don't want the divorce, but they understand. At least, as much as they can at their age. Amanda doesn't work at the ad agency anymore. She quit right after I served her. She's completely cut off contact with Greg, or so she says. She's joined some online forums to get support and guidance. I've been reading a lot too, and I get now why some people choose to stay. Amanda isn't a monster. She's just broken. She made terrible choices. But she's trying to become someone better. She's offered everything she can think of for another shot. But I still don't know if it's enough. Lately, I've been feeling a bit more at peace. Amanda and I had a serious talk the other day. She asked me if I'd consider giving her a chance after the divorce. She even offered to sign a postnup. I wasn't completely against the idea, but I made it clear, if there's any road to reconciliation, it's going to be long and rough. To be totally honest, part of me wants the divorce not for freedom or closure, but for a fleeting sense of justice. The only justice I'll ever get without becoming someone I'm not, without becoming a cheater myself. My mom and I patched things up recently. I shared more of the truth about Amanda's affair, and once she heard all the details, she was livid. She's angrier than I've ever seen her, and that's a lot to manage on top of everything else. I hadn't planned on posting here again until the divorce was finalized. But today, I'm angry, and I need to vent. A lot of you know Amanda's been terrified I'm going to have a revenge affair. And it's not just some abstract fear, she's paranoid because I'm still in contact with Lauren, Greg's wife. And yeah, I do see her occasionally. Amanda's incredibly insecure compared to Lauren. The truth is, Lauren's younger, beautiful, and she runs a successful business. She's strong and composed, everything Amanda used to be, before the lies. Amanda's convinced that I'm going to break and sleep with Lauren just to get back at her. And what pisses me off the most? She had the audacity to give me a lecture. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Can you believe that? She's not wrong, sure. I don't plan to betray my own values. But the hypocrisy, her preaching morality after what she did, drives me up the wall. Every time I come back from seeing Lauren, and it's always with the kids, Amanda spirals. She gets clingy, desperate. I've lost count of how many times she's thrown herself at me physically, trying to reclaim me or prove something. I reject her every time, and it just makes things worse. What really blows my mind is how selfish cheaters can be. It's always about their pain, their guilt, their desperation to fix things. Meanwhile, the betrayed, the people they hurt, are left to carry all the emotional wreckage. Our kids still see Lauren's kids. That's never changed. But Amanda still insists that I'm bound to slip up and take the opportunity to be with someone else. Meanwhile, Greg? That guy's still living at their vacation home, practically begging Lauren to take him back. I won't lie, it's satisfying to watch him squirm. He hasn't made any threats toward me. Probably because he knows I've got all the leverage. He's allowed to see his kid whenever he wants. He just makes sure I'm not there. Honestly, I pity the guy. Back home, Amanda's been throwing apologies at me left and right. Showering me with affection, trying to reel me back in. But I'm not in a good place, emotionally. I'm not receptive. We've got another therapy session today, and I plan to unload. I've been holding in too much pain for too long, and the rage is boiling over. In our latest therapy session, Amanda asked for more time to prove herself, to try to rebuild something between us. She didn't say we needed to reconcile right away, just that I should consider being open to rebuilding trust. I kept pushing back. I told her the only reason she's doing all this now is because her affair exploded in her face. If she was still with Greg, none of this effort would exist. She wouldn't be here crying in therapy, she'd be at some hotel, sipping wine and texting him. I reminded her how she emotionally neglected and mistreated me for months. I said I wouldn't just roll over and pretend everything's fine, not even for the woman I used to love more than anything. She didn't argue. She owned it. Apologized again. Made a dozen promises to try and repair what she broke. She said she wants our marriage to come out stronger than ever. She believes we can make that happen. So I asked her, "Are you really willing to deal with my anger? Because I've got a hell of a lot of it." She said yes. Said I could unload on her whenever I needed to, that she deserved it. Usually, when I've asked her why she did it, I get a mess of excuses. But this time, she was different. She told me there was no excuse. That she was weak, selfish, and full of regret. She said she wants to show me, every day for the rest of her life, that she's truly sorry, and that she'd never hurt me like that again. She talked about her insecurities, how she felt small next to someone like Lauren. How the affair gave her a temporary ego boost. It made her feel attractive again, desirable. But it was just a fantasy, and she knows it now. She regrets it deeply. She said the guilt is going to stay with her for the rest of her life. That she may never truly forgive herself. And she admitted, out loud, that she knows she can't compare to Lauren. That's where all her fear comes from, knowing that I could be with someone better. Someone who didn't betray me. Lauren never said a mean word to her. Never threatened her. It was all in Amanda's head. The therapist finally turned to me and asked, "What would it take for you to even consider Amanda's proposal?" I didn't have an answer. When the therapist asked me what it would take for me to even consider Amanda's proposal, I couldn't come up with a single thing. I just looked at her and said, "Honestly? A time machine. Because whatever this is now, it isn't a marriage. Not one I signed up for. It feels like a bad joke, a hollow version of the life I thought we had." The therapist tried to level with me, saying that all marriages face problems and how couples deal with them is what defines their strength. That caught me off guard. I told her to stop lumping us into the same box. This wasn't just a problem. I wanted her to focus on Amanda, not try to sell me a marriage is hard pep talk. Then she hit me with something about my unwillingness to accept logic, maybe being part of a communication issue. I didn't argue. I just sat there, biting my tongue. On the drive home, Amanda and I had one of our longest conversations in weeks. She asked if I felt emasculated because of her affair. That question threw me. I paused for a second, then told her the truth. Yeah, I did. Then she said something that made my jaw hit the floor. She asked if I'd feel better if I slept with another woman. I reminded her that I'm not wired like that. Revenge sex doesn't fix anything. She said she didn't mean a revenge affair, per se. What she was suggesting was a trial separation, where I could see other people, rebuild my confidence, and she'd stay faithful and wait for me to come back whenever I was ready. I looked at her like she had lost her damn mind. "How does that help our marriage?" I asked. "You're saying we both have affairs, and somehow that's healing?" She said mine wouldn't technically be an affair since we'd be separated under agreed terms. I still said no. The whole thing felt so out of character for her. Or maybe I just didn't know her as well as I thought. And here's the wild part, despite everything, I still don't trust her. But over the past few weeks she's been calm, patient, almost unrecognizable from the insecure, reactive person she was when this all came out. She doesn't want the divorce, but she's been surprisingly generous throughout the process. And that's made it all the more complicated. Before I go on, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been supporting me through this mess. So, Amanda and I agreed to be civil over the holidays, for the kids' sake. This will be our last one together. She's still holding out hope for a miracle, but for me, it's just about making sure our kids feel safe and loved. The divorce is set to finalize in mid-February. For those wondering, we've split everything 50-50ths. She's been more than fair, honestly. I don't know if it's part of a long game, or just genuine guilt, but she told me she's doing it because I've been a good man and a great dad. That I deserve a clean, respectful divorce. She's not losing much materially. I'm actually coming out slightly ahead because of how she structured things. But even so, I've stopped doing therapy sessions with her. It was giving her false hope. She admitted she still craves closeness, especially since I've emotionally detached. She's been more physically affectionate than ever, something that was rare in our marriage before. And I'll admit, it's been hard to resist. She's told me it's not about reconciliation anymore. She just wants me to feel good about myself again. To feel desired. She knows how emasculated her affair made me feel and keeps saying this is her way of trying to help. Meanwhile, I've temporarily cut off contact with Lauren. Things got personal. She confessed she had feelings for me, and she's willing to wait until my divorce is finalized. I care about her too, but it was getting too heavy too soon. We agreed to hit pause until everything's sorted. Some folks have asked if my presence is affecting Lauren's ability to move on. All I can say is, I've never pushed her, and we never trashed our spouses during our talks. She's done with Greg. Her leaving him had nothing to do with me. As for Greg, he actually apologized to me in person not long ago. I didn't accept it. Call me petty, I don't care. I don't give a damn about what he's going through. He earned every bit of fallout he's facing. Here's the question that's been eating at me. Is it okay to be physically close with Amanda even if we're not reconciling? Because I miss it. I miss that closeness. And Amanda's been trying everything, touch, affection, being more adventurous than she ever was before. She even went as far as clearing out every trace of Greg from her life. Photos, texts, places they went, all gone. I didn't ask her to do it, because frankly, I didn't want to know. But she did it anyway. And sometimes, when she looks at me with those eyes, full of guilt and longing, it's hard not to feel something. But part of me wonders, is this a trap? Am I being played? I've tried to get her to move out, but it's easier having her here until the divorce is done. Less chaos for the kids. Less disruption. So we've coexisted. Barely. I've finally come to terms with it. For a while, I thought I'd wasted over a decade of my life on a woman who didn't deserve me. But you know what? Amanda gave me my kids. She gave me moments, good ones, that I won't forget. I'll always be grateful for that. But I've finally realized something huge. I can do better than her. She invested her time and energy into another man when it mattered most. And now? Now that I've pulled away, now that I'm over her, now she wants to go all in. She's saying all the right things. Doing everything I used to wish she would. Even in bed, she's suddenly open to things she never was before. Too little. Too late. It hit me the other day. I missed out on so much during those years. Reading through Amanda's old messages with Greg, even just the parts one could stomach, I realized I was only seeing the tip of the iceberg. The stuff I did see? Graphic. Raw. Things no husband should ever have to read about his wife. Now she sees me differently. She respects my boundaries. Calls me her king. Says she should have treated me that way all along. And maybe she means it, but it feels temporary. Like she's trying too hard, too late. She's been transparent. Brutally honest. She's not hiding from what she did. She expresses deep regret every chance she gets. And I can see the shame in her face whenever I'm cold toward her. That constant look of guilt, of hopelessness, it gets to me. Makes me hate myself sometimes. But I keep my distance anyway. It's what I need. And yet, why can't I view this as progress? Why can't I see her remorse and effort as good things? Plenty of couples survive affairs, even long-term ones, and somehow come out stronger. So why can't I? Why do I keep basing my decisions on raw emotion instead of looking at the situation through a mature, objective lens? Maybe someone else will get this improved version of Amanda. Meanwhile, I'll be the one fumbling through another uncertain relationship, trying to rebuild trust from scratch with someone new. So why not fight for this? Why not stick it out when the signs point to a better future? Because I have one answer that overrides everything: I will not accept disrespect. Maybe I tolerated it in the beginning, when I was in shock. Maybe I let her manipulate the situation at first. But not anymore. I woke up. This part is for those of you who've followed my story and kept checking in. I've made up my mind. I'm going to enjoy Christmas with my kids, my whole family, one last time, and then I'm moving on from Amanda for good. No more fantasizing about second chances. No more bending for her remorse. I've stopped listening to the nonsense in my head that let her keep control over me. We're done. I won't be dating her. I won't be entertaining. Maybe someday. We're over. For good. Amanda's not a villain, and I'll never paint her that way. She's human. Flawed. And I do want her to be happy, just not with me. That ship has sailed. I reached out to Lauren, the other betrayed spouse, and asked if she'd like to grab dinner sometime after the holidays, just as a thank you. She was there for me when I hit rock bottom, and I owe her more than I can say. She said she'd love to. Before anyone jumps in saying I planned this whole thing with her, just stop. I didn't. My emotions were so wrecked for so long that I couldn't even imagine being with another woman, let alone her. And it's just dinner. That's all. Unless we both decide otherwise. But now that the divorce is almost final, I'm starting to realize something. I actually have options. And one of those options has been right there this whole time. Greg? I couldn't care less about the guy. He means nothing. As for marriage, I don't see myself doing it again. I'll be honest with any woman I date, I'm not putting a ring on it. This whole experience, even though it's been relatively clean legally, has cost me a lot. Too much. I'm jaded. Yeah. But I think I've earned the right to be. I gave Amanda the best years of my life. And now, looking back, I'm starting to realize how little I got in return. It's done. Officially. Amanda and I are divorced. It was finalized about 3 weeks ago. And those first few days afterward, man, they hit hard. I grieved like I'd lost a loved one. Like someone had died. I cried harder than I did even when I first found out about the affair. And the rage? The rage was unreal. It swallowed me up. We've got things arranged for the kids. She moved out, into an apartment. It's a big step down for her, and she's depressed about it. She's still doing therapy, still reading and reflecting on infidelity and the choices that brought her here. We've had a few long talks, mostly about co-parenting and keeping things stable for the kids. There's been little to no physical contact. I know I shouldn't let her linger in my life, even just emotionally, but she's still the mother of my children. And I want to be decent about it. It's the same tune, though. She still wants to reconcile. Still holding on to hope. But I'm not. I can't. It's too risky. I'm not giving her that gift. This past weekend, I had dinner with Lauren. No expectations. Just good conversation, some laughs. But somewhere between the appetizers and dessert, things shifted. Got flirty. Heated. I wasn't planning on anything happening. Really. But when it did, I didn't stop it either. And honestly, it was one of the most passionate, freeing experiences of my life. I'm not going to get graphic, but let's just say, Lauren is generous in ways I didn't even know I needed. She didn't just match what I'd missed, she redefined it. I didn't intend for the night to go there. But we were both willing. And I was finally ready. Turns out, healing doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes it's in the quiet strength of someone who knows exactly what you've been through, and sees you anyway. For the first time in a long time, I felt alive again. And that's a feeling I'm not letting go of. I don't think I've ever had someone that eager to please me, not just physically, but emotionally too. It wasn't about performance. It was about being seen, being wanted. It made me realize how one-sided things had been for so long. I guess I should stop calling her the other betrayed spouse. Now, she's officially divorced too. But for privacy's sake, I'll keep using that name here. Do I think we'll take things further? Honestly, I don't know. That night, the wine and the hormones definitely played a role. She says she'd like to keep things going, but I'm still undecided. I need to work through my own emotional baggage first, and truthfully, I think she does too. But I'll tell you this, I feel good. Really good. Some folks might not want to hear it, but that night helped me more than any book, any therapy session. It reminded me that I'm desirable. That I still have something to offer. That I don't have to accept robotic, joyless intimacy ever again. What's even more satisfying? I didn't cheat. I didn't stoop to her level. I held on to my dignity and my values through the worst of it. All things considered, I'm proud of how I handled this whole storm. I wasn't perfect, who is, but I kept my integrity. And I've probably come out ahead compared to many other betrayed spouses, even if the divorce hit my finances harder than I'd hoped. And the biggest reason I made it out okay? I listened. I listened to those who'd been through it. I took advice. I didn't go into this blindly or let my emotions dictate every move. So here are my takeaways. Respect yourself. Don't tolerate disrespect, not even from the people closest to you. Everyone deserves a healthy, fulfilling relationship. Don't settle for less. Physical connection matters. If your partner isn't putting in effort, especially after or during an affair, don't ignore it. Speak up. Don't accept unfulfilling intimacy just to keep the peace, unless both of you agree to it. Communicate. Relentlessly. It's everything. If you've been betrayed, only you can truly heal yourself. Took me a long time to get that. There's more I could say, but that's what comes to mind. I'll stick around and reply to comments for a bit, but after that, I'm done posting here. Time to move on with my life. I've avoided talking much about infidelity lately because, truthfully, it still triggers me. Not every day, but enough that I notice. I'm focused on moving forward, not wallowing in it. So yes, I'm okay. No disasters. No disappearances. I'm still seeing the other betrayed spouse. She's officially my girlfriend now, though we're taking things slow. She wrapped up her custody and financial matters with Greg without drama. No revenge. Just maturity. That's the kind of woman she is. That said, things haven't been perfect. There's been some tension between our kids. We've started family therapy to help them adjust and understand that our relationship doesn't mean they're any less loved or important. Not everyone is on board yet. My daughter and Greg haven't exactly clicked, and the atmosphere can be tense when they cross paths. We're working on it. Amanda? She still wants a second chance. She's clearly upset that the other betrayed spouse is in my life, and yes, I think it's affecting her. She even tried something at a 4th of July gathering. I shut it down, but she's been persistent. She's unraveling, honestly. Funny how it works, isn't it? I treated her like gold, and she walked all over me. The minute I stopped caring, she became desperate for my attention. And part of me still doesn't know how to feel about that. Anger? Pity? A weird combination of both? Anyway, that's where things stand now. A new beginning. Hello, everyone. I've been looking into resources to help with my current situation, especially where it involves the kids. For those new here, here's the short version. My ex-wife had a 2-year affair. During that time, she became emotionally abusive, constantly compared me to her affair partner, and our physical and emotional connection deteriorated. At first, I blamed myself. Then I found out the truth. She lied to me about spending a weekend with her boss. That was the final straw. I connected with the other betrayed spouse, and together, we both filed for divorce. We handled everything with the kids carefully, age-appropriate, honest, but never graphic. They've been as strong as we could have hoped for, though I know it's not easy for them. Amanda tried to reconcile. But I forgave her, and still walked away. The divorce was financially tough, but not devastating. I'm still standing. And more importantly, I'm living. As for what's next? That's up to me. And I finally believe I deserve to choose what makes me happy. What started as a friendship built on shared pain eventually became something real. The other betrayed spouse, Lauren, and I fell into a serious relationship. At first, it was more of a friends with benefits thing, supporting each other as we picked up the pieces from our broken marriages. But that connection was crucial. Without it, I might have stayed in my marriage out of guilt or worse, just given up on happiness altogether. I stay in regular communication with my kids. We talk openly and often. My son, who's 10 now, really likes Lauren. My 15-year-old daughter is a little slower to come around. She wants me to be happy, she's said as much, but she's understandably cautious. We've had some deep conversations about healthy relationships and her worries. She's supportive, but she's also taking her time. I respect that. We're keeping our relationship low-key so the kids, hers and mine, don't feel overwhelmed. Everyone's in therapy now, even Greg. It's been helpful, especially when it comes to navigating co-parenting. But the affair's fallout left a real mark on my daughter's relationship with her mom. She's angry, really angry. She's told me outright that she hates Amanda. She blames her for everything, says none of this would have happened if her mom had just made better choices. She's been lashing out. Rejecting Amanda's affection, cursing at her, acting out. I've had to step in more than once to remind her about respect, even when emotions run high. Still, it weighs on me. Amanda's been trying hard to repair things with our daughter and has asked for my help. I've done what I can, without using her infidelity as a weapon, but it's made me question how I handled all this. Here are the things keeping me up at night. My daughter doesn't respect her mother. She wishes life could go back to how it was before. She doesn't fully understand how Amanda treated me emotionally during the affair. She's in therapy, but I'm not convinced it's working. I worry she feels voiceless, overwhelmed. Even though I think I'm handling my relationship with Lauren well, maybe my daughter's hiding how she really feels about it. I fear I've damaged my kids by ending our marriage, even though I know staying would have hurt too. Any advice is welcome. This isn't some fairy tale ending, but it is real, and I want to share that. So how are Lauren and I doing? Honestly? We're doing fantastic. If I had known women like her existed, I swear I would have looked harder a long time ago. Jokes aside, our relationship is the healthiest I've ever had. Amanda put me through so much that I never really understood what a healthy relationship even looked like. Lauren's helped me see that. She's supportive, loving, consistent. I'm deeply in love with her. That said, we're keeping things at the girlfriend-boyfriend level. I'm still unsure about marriage, and she respects that. We keep things private, especially around the kids. They know we're dating, but we don't flaunt it. Now about the kids, things were rocky at first, no sugarcoating it. But with time, effort, and a whole lot of therapy, they've come around. My daughter and son have grown to really like Lauren. She's got a gift with kids. And her 2 girls? They've warmed up to me too. In fact, her youngest recently started telling people I'm her stepdad at school events and outings. That caught me completely off guard. I was worried she might feel pressure to say that, but when I gently asked, she just smiled and said she liked me a lot, and that I make her mom happy, so she's happy too. That hit me right in the chest. I held it together on the outside, but emotionally it floored me. I love seeing all the kids together. There's this mischievous energy when they gang up to tease my son, the only boy and the youngest of the bunch. It's equal parts hilarious and mildly terrifying. Not sure whether to laugh or cringe, honestly. So, what about Amanda? We're on decent terms. She's been working hard to fix things with our daughter, and I was glad when my daughter said she might be able to forgive her one day. They've made some real progress. Still, I don't think Amanda's truly accepted that we're over. She's been dropping hints about a second chance. She's hitting the gym, doing therapy, making noticeable changes, but I'm indifferent. I've made peace with the past. If she hasn't, that's her cross to bear. Interestingly, she's been talking more with Lauren, which surprised me. There's a sort of cautious mutual respect now, though Lauren is still understandably wary of her. Greg? He's a lost cause. I didn't realize just how much of a mess that guy was until after the dust settled. He's dating someone new now, some flashy, materialistic woman who seems more into his wallet than anything else. His kids can't stand her and are very vocal about it. I don't like her either. She's cold, dismissive, and doesn't seem to care about the girls at all. In conclusion, we're doing better than okay. I had my doubts. I questioned everything. But with effort, communication, and time, things are turning out better than I ever expected. Not a perfect storybook ending, but a real, solid new beginning. And that's more than enough.